Commission meeting for the town of Fortville. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:34 p.m. We'll start tonight off with call to order. We'll start with a roll call. Ms. Waldron, will you please run through roll call, please?
Mr. McCright.
Here.
Ms. Layton.
Here.
Mr. Studemont.
Here.
Mr. Holland.
Here.
Mr. Murphy.
Here.
Mr. Bills.
Here.
All right, thank you very much. Next, if everyone would please stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Moving right along to item number 3 on the agenda tonight is the approval of the meeting agenda. Before we do that, Adam, any modifications to the meeting agenda as presented?
No, sir.
Wonderful. Then I would look for a motion to approve the meeting agenda.
I'll motion to approve the meeting agenda for July 29th, 2025.
Do we have a second? All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Agenda approved. Thank you very much. Item number 4 this evening, commission to consider approving minutes of the June 2025 meeting. Has everybody had a chance to review? And if so, are there any modifications, changes needed at this time? If not, I would look for a motion to approve the June 2025 Plan Commission meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the June 2025 meeting minutes.
All right, do I have a second? All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? All right, approved. Moving right along to item number 5, our single public hearing this evening, case number STP 02-2025, southeast corner of Broadway and Ohio gas station. Commission to consider approving concept plans, amended site plan, landscaping, lighting, building elevations for a proposed gas station convenience store plus commercial shops and suites at the southeast corner of Broadway and Ohio Street. So with that, Adam, if you would please give us I don't know if we're going to run through the entire report.
No, well, I can give, I was going to give an abbreviated
Overview. Wonderful, thank you.
All right, so tonight you're being asked to consider approving the concept plans, the amended site plan, landscaping, lighting, building elevations for that proposed gas station and convenience store and commercial shops and suites at the southeast corner of Broadway and Ohio. It's really important to note that in June 2023, the Board of Zoning Appeals approved a special exception after a public hearing allowing a gas station use on the property, and they did assign some conditions which will be discussed. So the use question is not a purview of this board. It was already considered, addressed, and approved by the BZA in the past. The site plan was amended and refiled, and they added some additional parking spaces along the Broadway frontage, which I'll show you. So here's the property in question. Of course, we can always refer back to any of these exhibits as necessary. We saw this at the last meeting, but skipping ahead, you can see the 10 additional parking spaces that were added out along the Broadway frontage in red here. And that was in response to some concerns by a couple members about potentially there not being enough parking. So when we run the parking calculations on the project, what's actually required per section 6.10 of the zoning ordinance is 1 space per employee plus 1 space per 300 square feet of floor area for a retail use. So if we assume 8 employees across the entire building and all the suites, plus the 7,930 square feet, that would equate to 35 parking spaces, and they're providing 39. So with that, If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to address those. And again, we can go back to any of the previous items that were shown and discussed. Thank you.
Adam, can you restate just for the commission's reedification, the BZA conditions?
Sure. So when the BZA approved the gas station use, they assigned 3 conditions. One is they said that the gas station must open no earlier than 5 a.m. and must close no later than 11 p.m. Then secondly, they said an 8-foot tall opaque fence or wall must be provided along the parcel of 828 and a half East Ohio Street if a residential structure exists on that parcel, which they're showing. And then lastly, that lighting underneath the gas canopy shall not exceed 12.5-foot candles, and that is shown accordingly in the photometric plan.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Adam at this time?
I don't have a question for Adam, but I have a question for Alex.
Okay.
Can you confirm that we're the planning commission to reject the proposal, then the petitioners indicated or intimated that they could pursue this in court?
They have the ability to proceed in judicial review, if I'm understanding you correctly. I don't know that they have intimated that if the plan commission rejects this proposal tonight, that they would seek judicial review, but they certainly have the statutory right to do so.
Okay, that was my question.
Okay. Any other questions for Adam or Alex at this time? Okay, we will move to the next portion of the public hearing. And I'm gonna give just a quick rundown, just so everybody's familiar with kind of how this part of the meeting will be structured. So we will call the petitioner up. They will have an opportunity to discuss the case before us tonight. There will then be time in the agenda for public response for or against the case. We'll have 10 to 15 minutes. I would ask that you are concise, but make sure that your voice is heard. Please, if you have an opinion, if you have thoughts on the matter, we've got the microphone as well as is online. And then once public response is recorded on the record, we will have an opportunity for the petitioner to come back up and address any questions, concerns, comments that are heard from the public. And then we will also have time on our agenda for government officials to speak on the proposal. So there will be opportunities. I just want to make sure that we walk through this in an orderly fashion. So very much appreciate everybody's participation tonight. So with that, we'll move to the petitioner portion of the public hearing. Anybody who is here representing the case, please come up. Say and spell your name and how you represent the case, please.
Thank you and good evening. My name is John Cross, attorney for the petitioner, JOHNCROSS. My address is 13 North State Street, Suite 241 in Greenfield, Indiana. And like I said, I represent the petitioner, JPS Engineering, who's here present by Representative Rick Berger, who was present at the last hearing on June 24th. I was not present at that hearing. JPS Engineering is here on behalf of the owner, VR Empire, who own and operate over 70 gas stations throughout the state of Indiana. They've received favorable land use rulings throughout the state as well, and they have a great track record for operating in a clean, safe manner of their gas stations. I wasn't at the June 24th hearing, but I was the attorney who was present for the BZA hearing back in 2023 when the use was approved by the BZA for the property to be used as a gas station along with the convenience store. Again, I wasn't at the last hearing, but I did review it prior to tonight's hearing. In that review, I did see that there were the plans that were submitted. Rick Berger spoke about them. The remonstrators who remonstrated orally only had opposition to the use of a gas station of the property. There were no opposition to the actual concept site plans that were presented. So the request tonight is for your approval of the concept plans, as Adam stated, the site plan, the landscaping, lighting, and building elevations plan. So those plans were denied by the Plan Commission at the last hearing. Again, in my review, I didn't hear discussion or any opposition as to whether or not those plans met ordinance standards or not, and I didn't see any findings afterwards. So we're a little unsure of the reason for the denial, but again, the use of the gas station and the convenience store, that's not an issue with what we are seeking request of. So today's hearing is only on whether the concept plans that have been presented, along with the amended ones, meet the requirements of Fortville's zoning ordinance. And as presented and amended, yes, they do. And Indiana law is clear on here that if plats, if site plans meet the ordinances of the local jurisdiction, then the Plan Commission's role, there's no discretion. It's a ministerial act of approving them as long as they meet the ordinance standards. And you heard that with Adam, with the increasage of the 10 parking lots, that puts us over the 35 needed to 39. So all the ordinance standards here are met. So there weren't any specific objections that I heard in my review raised by the Plan Commission about the ordinance standards. The only question, again, related to the parking issue, which, as you heard, the petitioner has accommodated for and met that issue. So short and sweet, we believe that based on the foregoing, knowing that there's probably remonstrators here present again who are going to object to the use of a gas station at the property, but that's not an issue. But this is just merely a ministerial act that must be approved by the Plan Commission since the plans do comply with the zoning ordinances. So if there are any questions regarding the specific plans, the amended site plan, the landscaping, lighting, or building elevations plan, again, I know that Rick Berger is here. He can answer any questions. He did present on it last time, but as they do meet the ordinances, we are seeking your approval. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cross. Any questions for the petitioner as it pertains to the plans, excuse me, site plan, landscaping, lighting, and amended site plan, excuse me, landscaping, lighting, or building elevations from the commission?
I do have one question. It's
Mhm.
just for the traffic design of this. I went through and looked at the traffic study, and I just want clarification on one point. When you're coming southbound past this proposed property, are they going to put in a median so that you can't have a left turn from southbound?
No.
Thank you.
My name is Rick Berger, RICKBERGER, JPS Consulting Engineers. The traffic study was approved by NDOT, and whether there's actually a median going to be there or not has not been determined yet. That'll go through the process of design. Currently, it is designed so that the driveway that's on Broadway is a right in and a right out, so that there will discourage left-hand turns going south.
Okay,
So that's the intent.
thank you.
A quick follow-up to that. I apologize. You just sat down. You said it's designed as a right in, right out. And I look at, maybe I'm looking at the wrong site improvement plan. Is that going to be accomplished with essentially a pork chop? A turning table or?
During the meeting with the NDOT
Yeah.
district, they wanted to look at an enhanced pork chop maybe,
Okay.
or a median. So that was still kind of up in the air on exactly how they wanted to do that due to maybe some other developments coming on or something in that effect.
Okay. There's still access control. Some form or fashion, that's what, and ultimately that is NDOT's decision.
Sam
Yeah.
realized that there will be a traffic signal warranted
Correct, at the major
for
intersection.
Broadway and whatever the street to the north was, I can't remember.
Okay.
Ohio, right?
Yes. Thank you. Any other questions for the petitioner at this time? All right. Thank you very much. Hang around. I'm sure we'll have time for you to follow up as well. Anybody here who would like to speak for or against the case? We are moving into the public response period. If you have anything that you would like to say about this case, now is your opportunity. Please come to the microphone or unmute yourself online, and we would be happy to enter your comments into the record. Anybody online as well? We're not
Hang on, I'm just.
muting everybody, right? Oh, okay.
So online, they,
What we are considering tonight is the concept, the amended site plan, landscaping, lighting, and building elevations. So that is what we have to consider. So the facts related to those specific plans are what we will consider for approval. If you have thoughts and remonstrance outside of that, that can be entered, but frankly, should not be considered by the commission as it pertains to these specific set of plans this evening. So we'd be happy to, I don't want to discourage you from, providing your opinion and thoughts on the case. So that would have, and Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, but the time to discuss the appropriate use of the property, gas station or otherwise, would have been at the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting in, was it January 2023, when the special exception was approved to allow a gas station. Once that special exception was approved, a gas station is now allowed on the property, and that use is settled at that point, essentially. Absolutely.
I have my hand up. I'm online.
Yes, absolutely. If you
My
could,
name is Andrea Radford.
and if you provide your address as well, please.
Yes, my address is 486 North Marble Way. I have concerns about traffic and safety and being too busy in that small area there. I feel like we may have an increase in traffic, and I'm not sure that it's going to be safe for those that are trying to exit and, coming out of the residential areas onto Broadway.
And I apologize. You said your name was Andrea Radford, correct?
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. Well, any other, so we do have in front of us this evening, we did receive your written remonstrance as well. So very much appreciate you taking the time to put your thoughts down on paper. But want to make sure that, is there anything else? Don't want to cut you off for sure. But wanted to acknowledge that we do have that remonstrance in front of us, so that we've taken a look at it and reviewed as well. So
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other public comments for or against this case at this time?
I mean, all,
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
My name is Jack Gray, Gray. I live in Windstone at 1366 West Limestone Way. I did have the opportunity to speak with Adam Z last week, which I do appreciate town taking the time to do that. My question was, with the lighting, this may have been at the last meeting, I didn't fully. So with the lighting and the restrictions on the hours, like outside of like street lights, will the actual overhead lighting in the gas station shut down between 11 and 5, or is that going to be left up to the discretion of the petitioner?
We will take down that question, and we will have the petitioner come back up and for sure answer that question for you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other public comments on this case? We've got someone coming down front. Mr. Stein, if you could name and address.
Stein, 421 North Courts Lane. Speaking as a member of the public and as a resident nearby where this is going to go in, my concerns for this still remain generally the same. It's not just my concerns for the use of another business in this town that the town does not want, but we are now instructing you to make a decision on these site plans with traffic studies that have been discussed but nothing finalized, and other elements that you do not have concrete information on that you're now being told you have to make a decision on, and based on this, a decision in the affirmative, at which point, why is there a vote? You guys are here, you are empowered to make decisions on what you believe the town should be formed around and what you believe is appropriate, safe, and should be considered for what is built here. I urge you to make sure you remember that you have that ability and remember that you are being told to make a decision in a certain direction without even having all of the information that's associated with this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stein. Any other members of the public that would like to speak for or against this case? Still have a few more minutes.
Yeah, I'll speak up. My name's Emily Perigo. It's P as in Paul, ERIGO, 1312 West Limestone Way. I'm in the same neighborhood as several of the other folks here that have spoken, and I have same concerns. Also did not know that the gas station approval was January 2023. I haven't seen anything about that whatsoever. So that's definitely news to me, I think, as well as several other people. We Thursday Pools just extended the sidewalk going down the road, which we thought that there was, at least there's talk about it extending further out, which is more concern as well if that is extended out, which would be great for access to downtown. However, if there's a gas station put at the end of there, it also creates a risk as well, because children are using that area, obviously with guidance of parents for the most part, unless they're teenagers. But having the gas station right there for kids walking and playing outside, which I think parents are trying to incentivize us doing, that is 2025 with all the technology. But it just creates a huge safety concern with having a gas station there with, I mean, the other gas station on the other side of town started before scooters came, and scooters just celebrated their years a few months ago, and they're having to extend the road to be able to even open. I'm curious to know what the extension of the roads for both directions on the 1050 as well as Broadway there, what the plans are for that as far as safety goes, and then in relation to that sidewalk. There's definitely a lot of concern that I have.
Thank you for voicing your opinion. There's several questions there that I've noted down as well that we will be sure to have the petitioner answer when they come back up.
Thank you.
Did we have someone else speak up?
I'll go next. I'm Alex Choate. I'm at 675 North Granite Drive. I'm in Winston, same as everyone else. I'm against the gas station, but I know this isn't the right forum. This was already decided at the BZA. One of my concerns, I think Emily touched on it, is the safety. Broadway, I bike pretty often, pretty much every day going into downtown Fortville, and then trying to cross Broadway is it gets crazy because no one goes the speed limit, and people treat the shoulder as a turn lane. So maybe this is future for NDOT, but is there going to be any traffic calming? I think a median would be a good idea to prevent left turns. But my main concern is safety. I think traffic calming would be a big thing for that intersection.
And just a quick question in reference to traffic calming. Are you speaking particularly on US 36? Or
Yeah, on Broadway. Because no one goes to 30 miles on Broadway. I've seen people pass on the shoulder going around people that are turning into CVS. So I don't know if that's for this forum or a different commission, but
Wonderful. Thank you. Just wanted to make sure I noted that appropriately. All right, we've got maybe time for one more comment. All right, we got someone coming to the mic.
Good stuff. And fellow Winstonian, like everyone else. I think my concern with the gas station here, since nothing's set in stone about how the medians or anything's going to be done, is that just like what happened with the BP? Like, was it all approved and then now it's set for what, a year and a half, almost 2 years? So really don't want to have a fourth gas station come in and be like, oh, yeah, by the way, it's gonna be another 2 years before we figure out how to turn into it. So I don't know if that was like,
General schedule timeline?
yeah, things need to be set in, stone before, ground gets broke. That was my main concern. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, thank you again. Want to reiterate, really appreciate everybody's comments this evening, questions. I want to make sure that we have time in our agenda for the petitioner to come back up and ensure that we have those questions answered. So with that, if the petitioner would like to come back up and respond to what they've heard. And then I've got a list of questions just in case.
Sure, yeah, and I think I jotted everything down, but if I missed something, please let me know. As to the point raised by our first remonstrator regarding traffic and safety along Broadway and whatnot, as Rick stated, they are working with NDOT. Again, NDOT has jurisdiction on Broadway 36 to make petitioner comply with what they deem is going to be adequate and necessary to ensure safety of the use at the property. So if NDOT says it has to happen, then it will happen. With all other respects as to traffic concerns, the ordinance standards will be met. So as long as we are meeting those, then there really should not be an issue. So if, it's a safety concern as to what the ordinances state, there's nothing really petitioner can do on that end as long as they are meeting that. And I do know that I remember back in 2023 when this was in front of the BZA that traffic concerns was a major point by remonstrators. It was brought up that there had been fatalities along 36 north of this property before. And so I think that as was stated at the last hearing and stated tonight, that there will be a traffic signal placed at Broadway and Ohio that will help. As to the last gentleman's point, as to the timeline, it was stated at the last hearing as well. So I don't know if he was present or not, but the cost of installing that for petitioners, $300,000. So it took time for them to obtain those funds. So now they're ready to move forward. So that was the reason for the delay from 2023 until today. The next point had to do with the lighting question about the operation. So the petitioner will have to operate under the BZA's conditions and regarding the hours. With respect to the lighting, they will be probably lit more during operating hours. We're informed that at night they still will remain lit, but they will be brought down, not as bright. So that'll provide a security measure on the property. We don't want a pitch black property there where people can hang out without seeing what they're being done. So the lighting will both comply with the BZA conditions as well as town ordinances regarding the lighting. So there is no concern or issue there. I believe the next point again had to do with traffic. Which I already touched base on. Same thing with the roadway extensions. The petitioner's plans meet the ordinance standards. So Rick can maybe speak more if there are extensions planned or if NDOT's going to require any along Broadway. But again, what NDOT says will have to be done to get the permit will be complied with by the petitioner. And then the fifth gentleman's point had to do with the biking concerns as well. But again, if there's going to be a traffic light installed, that's only going to increase safety there, along with access going east and west along Broadway. So that would address his concerns and help with traffic bicycling along the way, as long as kids walking the route as well. So unless I missed anything, or Rich, if you'd like to add anything as well.
Again, I'm Rick Berger. I think one of the items too that's shown on the plan is that there will be a path, an actual 10-foot wide path that's on the north side as well as on the Broadway side of the development that will hopefully get extended in the future as that area develops. So that was the sidewalk response, I guess, to that concern about people and the playing in that area as well as the bike riders.
Quick follow-up. If you could, and obviously not set in stone, but there was a question about, I think the question on schedule was not necessarily from BZA to now, but there's a separate unrelated development in town that folks have joined to this. And so from, let's say, approval, general timeline is we're planning to move forward with this, right? That's, I think the question, the concern is that this development has been, it's been what, 2+ years, and there's just concern that this is going to be under construction, this corner for 2+ years. And I think that's, I know there's no, you can't say today that I'm going to have it open by a specific date, but anything you can do to talk about schedule timeline. And I know there are still things up in the air with NDOT, so nothing is finalized. You don't have a permit, but
Knowing that, of course, we know how fast NDOT moves. And the traffic study does dictate there has to be control and safety and traffic
Mhm.
containment and what have you. So that will be happening. I know that as far as development goes, I think we're in our last round of drainage review and approval. I think after that is done, we're probably looking at, I don't know, maybe another few months before that project bids. And so then it would start construction after that. Again, what'll happen is, and I hate to say it, but the building and the construction of this development will probably happen much quicker than the work with NDOT. I mean, that's just how it is because of the approval processes, right? And you know that. So I know that the owner's eager to get started once we get the appropriate approvals. And because he's got a brand or a brand that he's got to bring out there. And so I would think the duration of the project itself would be anywhere from 12 to 16 months, maybe, for the project. So, but hopefully it would all coincide. It wouldn't be able to open, obviously, until the driveways are approved. We've got to have, driveways to get in and out. Those driveways will not get approved without whether it's medians being put in the street or other types of deterrents that NDOT will require. So I don't know if that answers your question. I don't know that I don't know what happened with the property to the south. No idea, but I understand.
sure. Real quick, just to follow up on the traffic study and then absolutely. Mr. Stein brought up that the traffic study is not finalized. The only potential items, are there any items that are not within NDOT's purview?
The traffic study is finalized and it has been approved by NDOT.
Okay,
The development component of what exactly is going to be constructed has not been approved.
final design.
That final design, and it is in process now. I mean,
And so that is only on US 36 or Broadway though, not,
Correct.
so that is NDOT's purview.
correct.
There was nothing that is within the town's purview from an approval perspective that is up in the air. That's fair to say.
Right, we meet all the town requirements along, I guess that's Ohio Street,
Yeah.
right? Of spacing, distances and widths of turn lanes, correct?
Okay, thank you.
To clarify, the traffic light will be in before the gas station opens, or is it the other way around?
If I'm not
You know, it's up
mistaken,
to-
it's the other,
With the traffic light, but
it's the other way around because the final warrant, if I'm not mistaken, and Nathan, you can, how that works. I think they have to do the warrant after everything's open to put the light up. Is that not correct?
If it depends on the way the traffic study is, if it's contingent on, or if the development requires the traffic signal, then it'll be signal and then site open.
Okay.
It depends on if it's that or if it's the design year. There's a couple of ifs.
So, but the intent would be that everything is there by the time they open.
And that again would be NDOT's.
Yes,
They would not allow for the site to open,
correct.
which is part of the reason why the BP is currently sitting, but that's a separate,
it goes back to the warrant.
correct, traffic volume.
And then regarding the HMA trail, I just wanted to ask a little clarification because I know this is something that a lot of people had. It's going to be an HMA trail to continue as the existing trail is already. You said you're putting in a 10-foot wide path.
Yep, as directed during the review of the site with the town, working with with Adam Z there that we needed to provide continuation or beginning or whatever that, I don't know the trail name, but to have the 10-foot width. It's still within the right of way, so it's like 20 to 30 feet away from the road on Broadway. And then on Ohio, it's close to 15 to 20 feet away from the south curb of Ohio.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the petitioner at this time?
Bear with me as I'm trying to sort through all of this NDOT information that we're going through. So is there not a way to, and maybe you've already covered this in some sort of fashion, but to delay the construction of the building until that final design has been made by NDOT or approved by NDOT, so things run more simultaneously?
We have been working with NDOT for 2 years, basically. I mean, ever since we started the process of the special exception and use of the property, we started that discussion with NDOT. We hope that we're far enough ahead with our updates and meetings with the district that things can happen simultaneously. We would hope that would happen. But there's no guarantee for that.
Well, I can also comment, we will not issue the building permit until they have an actual right-of-way permit from NDOT. Because it's a important part of the project and all needs to happen at the same time. As for the other case, without getting into too much minutia, that was bid out separately. The contractor had a separate plan set. That was approved by NDOT, but there were basically two different contracts. There was one for the building and then there was one for the frontage. And so that's what led to that delay in that situation. But simply put, for this project, for the town's review, it has always been standard practice. It was standard practice for that other station. It's standard practice for this one, that we will not issue the building permit until they secure all of the approvals, whether it's from the Hancock County Surveyor's Office for drainage, whether it's NDOT for driveways. It's all part and parcel.
Okay, thanks, Adam.
Any other questions from the commission to the petitioner at this time? All right, hearing none, thank you very much. We have time in our agenda for government official comments. Any government officials in the audience or online that would like to speak for or against the case or just make comment may do so at this time.
Can I just ask what the proposed gas station is? What actual gas station it is? Because I haven't been told that.
My understanding is that it would be branded as a Shell or Amoco.
Thank you, Adam. All right, seeing no government officials at this time, we will move right along. Any other questions, clarifications from Adam or any others at this time? If not, I would look for a motion to approve with conditions, or deny the amended site plan, landscaping, lighting, and building elevations for the proposed gas station, convenience store, commercial shop suites at the southeast corner of Broadway and Ohio Street. We can do those separately, or we can do them in a bundle if there are no conditions or modifications that are needed.
I have one. Will
Okay.
there be any lighting along the trail? And has that been considered as a safety mechanism?
The current plan does not do any special lighting along the plan. There will be parking lot lighting in addition, to the canopy lighting. And that we've designed where we're providing the appropriate foot candle at the right of way or the property line. So
Okay.
no special lighting for the trail.
Thank you. Sorry for the delay.
Appreciate the question. All right. Question still stands. I would look for a motion to approve with conditions, or deny case number STP 02-2025, the amended site plan, landscaping, lighting, and building elevations.
Make a motion to approve case number STP 02-2025 SEC Broadway and Ohio Gas Station as proposed.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I've got a motion and a second. A quick clarification. Maybe this is for Alex, I apologize. The conditions that were in the special exception do not have to be included in tonight's, that's folded into the special exception for the site,
That's correct. They have to comply with those special.
regardless
those
of
conditions.
tonight's.
That's
Okay, okay.
Use is dependent.
Just wanted to make sure that we didn't have to continue down that road. Thank you. All right, I've got a motion and a second. Any other conversation or questions? All right, then all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain.
Abstained.
All right. Motion carries 5-0 to 1. Case number STP 02-2025. The site plan, landscaping, lighting, building elevations are approved. Thank you all tonight for your comments. Thank you for your time. I appreciate the input. The commission very much appreciates folks taking time out of your day to provide input on this case, on the plans as proposed. That will end the public hearing section of the meeting. Next, I would move to item number 6, which is board comments. Any comments at this time?
I do.
Okay.
I wrote this because I wanted to explain to the town the procedures and processes behind this and how they help guide us in making our decision. So first, let me begin by stating it has been my pleasure to serve the residents of the town of Fortville for the last 5 years on the Plan Commission, serving 2 years as vice president during my time. I, like many citizens, have great concerns over how the process of approval for determining where and what type of incoming business proposals are completed. In this particular instance, we have been instructed that to avoid a lawsuit, we must approve the petitioner's proposal as they obtained a use variance 2 years ago when determining to purchase the property at Ohio and East Broadway. Please allow me to explain. I want Fortville to be a welcoming place for new enterprises. It is my firm belief that the input of its citizens should be first and foremost. However, I want to explain the process that the town, per the state of Indiana, utilizes. This property has been designated as CC, Commercial Community, in the middle of a residential area. The petitioner obtained a special exception variance in 2023 from the Board of Zoning Appeals, the BZA, which allows a gas station use on the property. Due to this, the next step in the process is obtaining the approval for the concept plans, including the site plan, landscaping, lighting, and building elevations from the Plan Commission. In this instance, it is outside the legal scope of the Plan Commission to determine the use of the property. If concept plans adhere to the legal requirements set forth by the town and BZA, then the Plan Commission is legally required to approve them. The time for remonstrance in a situation like this would be the BZA meetings, which are advertised by the town of Fortville. Due to this process and the resulting community input, I would highly encourage each and every citizen to get involved early in the process. Watch for when meetings are posted. The Town Council, the BZA, and the Plan Commission hold meetings and public hearings throughout the month respectively. The petitioner's left. I'm still going to read this. To the petitioner, based on the remonstrance received, I sincerely hope that the safety factors and preventions that are mandated by the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, IDEM, be followed closely and not result in IDEM inspection violations or potentially leaking underground storage tank lust sites as identified in IDEM's virtually filing cabinet. The town of Fortville has entrusted its precious commodity of land to your use, which is adjacent to multiple residential properties. I sincerely look forward to a well-maintained business that enhances the community. And once again, to the residents of Fortville, I highly encourage you to make yourselves aware of potential and upcoming changes to our community, following the Town of Fortville's official town Facebook page and its website. Pay attention to the public notices, signs posted around our community, and voice your concerns as appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you, Brittany. Very much appreciate your thoughts. And again, want to reiterate your point on public participation. The town makes these meetings available. There is nothing done in secret. Every one of the meetings are held here and published at least 10 days ahead of time for public hearing. So we very much value your input and would love to see more participation at these meetings. Frankly, I'd love to see these seats filled. That means that we are adjudicating the cases appropriately at the appropriate time. So again, appreciate everybody online. Appreciate everybody who took time to come in here today. Unfortunately, what was set before us today, based on the law, is the specific site plans. So with that, again, just really appreciate everybody's input and look forward to continued success in the community, continued public government partnership in developing the town the way the town sees fit. Any other thoughts on the matter?
One thing I'll add is that it's tough for folks to get here, and we would all love to see more people here, and we've heard that for years, that it's tough. But as those that were here and online witness, we try to make it as easy as possible, and don't forget that there is the Zoom option. And we had several participate in that today. You can't be here in person. So that's a step we took years ago, and it's been very, very useful. So just as a reminder that is available.
Thank you very much. That's a great point. And if you can't be here in person or you can't be here on Zoom, we've got remonstrance sitting in front of us that's provided to us ahead of time. So if you have the opportunity, your voice is still heard, it's still entered into the record and is part of the public record of the public hearing. So we do take this seriously and we want to hear from folks. So thank you very much. That's a great point. All right. If we've got no other board comments, I would move to staff comments. Any staff comments this evening?
Just a couple things related to what you were saying is, first, I wanted to make it clear that one of the good things that we have built into our process is the Plan Commission review for these types of projects, for the landscaping, for the site plan, lighting, elevations. In many other communities, that process, first of all, that process is not required by Indiana law. And it does not happen all over the state. So, for example, if we didn't have this process, then after the special exception was approved by the BZA, they'd have their zoning in place, they would move forward and submit for building permits, and we would review all that internally. But I think it's good that we have that open process so that the community can see what's coming in and make comments on the different aspects of the project. And then secondly, in terms of the various board meetings, Plan Commission meetings, even council, I will say, for example, in some other areas, the BZA meetings are held in the afternoon during a weekday. Obviously, we don't do that here. We hold it in the evening so that the public can participate. So I just want to make it clear that from a staff perspective, in terms of items that are in the ordinance, that most of it was carried over from Hancock County, but there were a few things that we tweaked, and this was one of them, that we required a Plan Commission to basically function as an architectural review commission in a sense with this. So we certainly stand by that decision. I think it's the right thing to do for a small community. So, but with that, if you have any questions on anything, I'd be more than happy to address them.
Adam, may I make a comment real quick? I just want to take a moment in public to thank the town and the town staff and our elected officials. I think that I'd echo Adam's comments. It's not like this all over the state. And when business comes to town, it's nice as a Plan Commission member to be able to say that we do have building standards. We do have an adopted comprehensive plan that's up to date and is going to require you to provide things like lighting and additional materials on your facade so that it looks nice, and that we have all this quality amenities so that these businesses don't come to town and just build whatever the heck they want. They build to our standards. So I think we're doing a great job, and again, commend staff for holding them to the fire on that stuff and making sure that those things get done on these plans.
One last thing to add to this was, it's been said, and it's been said to me and at some of these meetings, that that the remonstrators don't matter in this process. And Alex,
or Adam, there are certain elements within a site plan that remonstrators can certainly be relevant. And the plan commission can take into consideration. Again, I think we've kind of belabored the point a little bit, but it's an excellent point to continue to be made, that the plan commission, their usage is not one of them. But can you provide some things that are, for instance, that would be outside the allowed use, or not usage, sorry, the ordinances and the site plan that could be asked for, that we could absolutely have remonstrance and agree with those if they were outside of the town ordinances and such?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the first shot and Adam can come in as well, obviously. One we dealt with tonight, parking, right? If the original plan, had come in and they made the case that, hey, there's just not room for 35, I think was required under the ordinance, or parking spaces, or that the parking is laid out in a way that you thought was unsafe, or hey, and I've heard that in discussions over the years of site, I think your turning radius here is going to be weird, or how are you going to deal with that? And hearing that from the public as well, like, hey, we don't like the way that this layout sits on the property, or those lights are going to shine in my front. Those are the types of things that remonstrance and public input absolutely play a part in your consideration, and potentially putting conditions on the site, or denying it, saying, no, this doesn't substantially fit with what the building development standards are and what the zoning ordinance requires. And so you deny, or if it's in the middle, all right, well, we're going to add in, we see, this is a unique layout or a unique site, shaped kind of odd, or tucked in a weird part of town, that you've got some hardships that strict compliance with the development standards may not. Those are the types of things that you reach an agreement as a plan commission to maybe allow them to modify the site development plan. And that's where the public input, your questions, staff's recommendations, Adam does a great job putting the presentation together to say those types of things, that, hey, here's what the code requires, but this site's a little unique. You've heard him say this in various petitions. So I think this is appropriate here, or mounding in some cases might be appropriate, but not. Those are the types of things where, even in a case as tonight, they met all of the requirements. And so it is really a ministerial act. But still a benefit for Brittany, what you're saying, and Nathan, that the public still gets to hear, this is what they're doing, this is how they're going to do it. You get to put a face with the engineer and the property owners, and actually look these people in the eye and have them come before you and before the community, so that you can hold them to account, that what they say that they're going to build and how they're going to do it. If they don't do that, you bring them back in here and the town can take action. So there is value in it.
I appreciate that. And that was just some clarification I wanted to for folks to hear, is that remonstrance is absolutely is still welcomed and can be a big deal even at the plan commission, based on the plan itself. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody. Any other comments? If not, again, appreciate everybody's time tonight, but I would look for motion to adjourn. Make a motion to adjourn.
One
Oh.
question left on Zoom.
Oh, we have another question? Is there a question?
They raised their hand.
Oh. Or Josh, if you want to mute yourself real quick. Okay.
Oh, hang on, maybe I have to unmute.
Oh, see if it's.
Hang on.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, here we go. Yes.
My name's Josh Schmockers. I live on 1070 East 1000 North. I'm just outside of town. I just wanted to, I guess, ask a question to Adams, or actually to Alex's point on reviewing plans. I guess in my experience, the general public does not have access to reviewing specific plans ahead of time. The council or the board does. So I think it's very difficult for the general public to get the ability to, make those observations. There's just not the ability or the knowledge to review the plans. So I'd ask if there's an opportunity in being able to share those elements to the general public so that the general public can be a little bit more prepared and provide more meaningful feedback. Just something I would suggest you guys consider, if possible.
I guess my question to Alex would be, is there anything that would prevent that?
No, and it's a good point. I think we do have some, and Adam will correct me if I'm wrong here, but I do think we have that concept in play, not only at BZA or when there's types of development that, I recall.
The council does.
And the council weighs in and when there's a new development. So we actually take some additional steps there as well. So I think it goes to the point that's been made. I mean, pay attention to the public hearings. And if you see that there's a BZA hearing on a use variance or some sort of variance or special exception, typically that presentation is going to require some sort of preliminary site plan or concept plan, which then very commonly the BZA may put commitments or conditions, like in the case before you tonight. I believe that looking at it was a gas station and the preliminary site plan and just kind of a concept plan. Some of those conditions about lighting, hours and whatnot were part of that. So there's Robert, there's nothing that prevents, hosting that online or having that.
For the plan commission, but for the BZA, it is a sealed public
That's a
hearing,
different
right?
deal.
But
That's
but for this, we could potentially require the petitioner to provide the plans to be posted.
Yeah, and Adam, I think you get that. That's part of the application platform.
Yeah, I think,
It's just making it public is, yeah.
Typically
we,
not, yeah.
yeah, in terms of the actual materials that the Plan Commission is reviewing, we can, and many times I believe our office manager is posting that online. Sometimes that may not be the case depending on workload in terms of how quickly, how much lead time they need to make that happen. But for Plan Commission, the bottom line is that would be our goal, would be to absolutely put that online as part of the digital packet so people can see that. Now, that being said, if for some reason it's not posted and there's just the agenda, just the basic legal requirement for anybody that says, hey, I'd like to see the actual plan that the Plan Commission is considering, I would be more than happy to email it to them. That's all public record. I can and will do that. So, so yeah, bottom line, we'd like to post that online for Plan Commission. Now, like you said, BZA is a different story. There's different law related to BZA on what you can put out there in advance of the meeting, but Plan Commission, we can do that.
Could we simply put in the event that you can't get the full packet published, but maybe we've got it available, could we put a note in the agenda that says for full plans, contact whether it's you or Andy or whoever is handling that, just so that if they just see the agenda, there's a reference to.
I think that's a great idea. And
then it's just kind of.
Yep.
Perpetualize, okay.
We will do that.
Okay. Excellent, okay. Thank you very much. Did we have a motion and a second? We had a motion. I would look for, let's just repeat it since we're 5 minutes later. Again, great conversation. I appreciate it, everybody. But I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn at 7:33.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great evening.